going to care. In a few years, it will come hands-on health because of the so many integrations that we are working on. Last year I was here, but it's unfortunate that whenever I come here, I come as a participant, but then they end up asking me, oh, can you share, can you present? So at least I tried to write a few things behind there, which I can share with you. We started our business in 2021. You know, when you make a decision to start a business, you think of so many things, what you can do in this country. I came here in 2018 in America, and I worked a full year when I started working. I worked 24 hours a day. The reason why I worked that hard, because back home when I used to hear or read books, all the rich people were coming from the United States. So I wanted to see how people make money here. I'm like, okay, I think when I work so hard, I'm gonna get money. And then I also be in those books of records where rich people are. I think by then, Elon Musk was not one of them. But now I think he's on the top. Yeah, so in 2021, I'm like, I think that was around 2020. So we were like, what can we do? Because having worked the whole year, 24 hours a day, and then my paycheck was the same. Because I worked 8 hours, then I worked 12 hours, then I said, okay, let me work 24 hours. Me, I had where to sleep, but I never slept there, but I was paying for that place. But because I wanted to work so hard. So when I worked that, I gave it a try for a year, and my paycheck was all the same. I'm like, okay, what can I do now to increase my paycheck and also to be like those people that have money here? So I'm like, okay, I think I can do something. So back home I'm a dentist. I practiced dentistry for 5 years. I had my dental practice. And I was doing a number of chain of businesses. I had a restaurant in back home. I had a dental clinic. I had a cleaning company. So I had a chain of businesses there back home. So when I came here, I thought things would be the same, but things were hard. So in 2020, we were like, you know what? I think we have to do something. I thought of something I can do here, and I'm like, I tried to search on all businesses, how I can start them, but the only thing I zeroed down that I had experience in was cleaning. So because I was doing cleaning back home, cleaning services, I'm like, okay, I can start that. So I started the cleaning services. How we did the cleaning, I started doing the business even before registering my company with Secretary of State. What I did, being so ambitious, you want to see the change in your paycheck. What I did, I just went, I got a name, thought of my name. Actually, by then it was hands-on services. I called it hands-on services because I wanted to do something hands-on. Then I got a name, I got the logo. I went to Burlington. I did the t-shirts. I did the t-shirts. Then I went to Boston. I bought some equipment, and then I did demonstration in my room. How I cleaned the bathroom. I took pictures. I took photos and videos, and then I created a Facebook page. The Facebook page I put on Facebook. Then I boosted that page with only $50. It was for 14 days. But that turns my life. People started calling me for business. We started working with one house. For us, because we could go to a house, spend there 3 hours, And then we say between 2 and 3 hours. We used to do residential. We could ask them for about $300 per house. So we started doing that with my wife because we were 2. We did the house and got 300. But before the 300, I was getting it for a week. That's how I was making money. So then we realized that this is a good business. I stopped working the other side. Like I was working there, and I was doing the cleaning on the weekends, like Saturday and Sunday. That's when I would do the cleaning. But when I got my first pay, second pay, I said, oh, I think I'm wasting time. That side money is here. So I was like, okay. And then I would discuss with my wife. I said, you know what? I think we should stop working during the day, then we work night for others. And then we did that. Then we started going, okay, today we have to, because with your own business, you make your own schedule, you make your own everything. Yes. They'll call us and say, do you have an availability next week on Wednesday? Say, oh, okay, just give me 1 minute. Let me look into my schedule. But if I don't have any schedule, but you know that you do what? You have to go and work somewhere else for somebody. And then the only availability I have is a Saturday because you have to wake up, take the kids to babysitter, then you have to go to work. Then I say, the only availability I have is 10 o'clock. Is that okay? Saturday? Yeah, that's okay. I think I will be home. I got this one. So we started like that, getting those fixed schedule, and then we started weekends. Then from there, when we cut off the other side, we started doing other days. So we started doing one house together a day. We went to 2 houses, that's 600. So when I got experience, and now, because by the time we started, we could go with each and every cleaning material, from Home Depot. Because it was a try and fail, which one will work. In the bathroom, on the carpet, on the what. But after some time, we realized, now this is what works and this is what works. Yeah. So now with me and my wife, we got experience. We said, okay, now you know what to do. And when you could enter, now we started getting roles, dividing roles. We come in somebody's house, you say, you're in charge of the kitchen, bathroom, floor. We are here for 2 hours. Make sure that we go. Then we have some other client. So that's how we started. Then we started doing 3 houses. We do one in the morning, one in the afternoon. That's already 900. That's one day. And this 900 was 2 weeks working for other people. So now we started dividing our roles. Say now, you can do a house by yourself. I can do a house by myself. So I started doing 2 houses. Yes, she started doing 2 houses. How much money was that? Yeah, so that means I could get 600 a day, she could get 600 a day. Then we could say, now we have to grow the company. So if you're getting this money, how do you grow the company? Then we started saying, this is how much you have to save, this is how much you have to spend, because we have to pay ourselves. And per hour, we say at least our hour here is going to be $60 or $50, because it is hard work. Cleaning is hard work, especially when you're doing residential. Commercial is easy, just come here and do quick, and then you go. But residential is hard. So we started saving some money for about, I think, we did that about 8 months. But Facebook did us, because we stopped even not picking, we said we don't have any availability because we had the houses to clean. So, but this work was so tiresome, that's the truth. By the time we go home, because if I do 2 houses a day, she does 2 houses, by the time we go home, we only have, by then we had 1 kid, 1 baby girl. Then we have to go and pick our baby, go home, then prepare towards tired. But then we are asking ourselves, are we going to do this work like this for the next 10 years? Are we going to do this work for the next 2 years? No, because we're going to be broken down. I think we have to think otherwise. Because also getting here help like workers to do this dirty job like cleaning is not easy. And by then, I think most of this work is done by immigrants. So we started getting other people to help us, but people could come work for a week, then they leave, work for it. Because when they are working for you, you have to pay them some money, but then you have to save some money for yourself. So maybe they see like they're also not making what they expected. And the work is hard, so that way. So I and my wife, we said, you know what, you have to think of something new to do so that we can survive. Because having got a little money, we had to start something. So that's when we thought of starting a home health company or agency, which we called Hands-On. So then we thought of registering the company. By the time we went to the Secretary of State to register the company, our name was already taken. Yeah, so the hands-on services was already taken. It was there, it was in Massachusetts and also in California, so we couldn't start it here. So we're like, oh, but this is the name we had the brand on, we have really worked for this name, what do we do? Then we thought, but if we put Hands-On America, then we put services, how is that? We put America, then we submitted, they accepted it. And so, okay, let's go. So, we got a new name. Now we are working, now we know what the state wants. Because when we registered, then they said, oh, you need insurance. By the time they asked us for insurance, we had insurance. When they asked us, you need to pay this, we had the money to do that. But when we started Hands On America, we started as, we were doing a lot of things. We put home care services, we put home health services, we put healthcare staffing and transportation, and then private duty nursing. But that was our vision. We visioned our company doing a lot of services. But having worked for a year, 6 months, we realized that this is our niche where we have to concentrate on. So our company concentrated on healthcare staffing by then. Because before this changes of leadership in the politics of the United States, whenever you could go to nursing homes and ask for business, nursing homes needed nurses, they needed CNAs to work with them. We could enter a nursing home, ask for business, they sign the contract, the following day we give them CNAs and nurses to work with them. So we realized this is a big business. We worked in healthcare staffing for some good time and really made money out of it. But we wanted to diversify and expand our business. Right now, we are doing what we visualize like next 5 years. I think it has not even made 5 years. We added on the private duty nursing, we added on transportation, and also we added on school. That's why I talked about Hands-On Community Care School, where we train caregivers, CNAs, and we put them in people's homes, we put them in nursing homes. The reason why we did diversification, because there are things I wanted to share with you, what has kept us going and what has helped us to build this multi-business entity right now. One, I'll talk about what we call realism, like reality. When you're doing business, there are things you should see them as they are. Because so many things will come your way. But then you have to make a decision. Should I go with this or I go with this? You must make a choice on which will uplift your business. So like I said, we made a choice to start with healthcare staffing because that's where we could go and everybody was willing to work with us. We left the other side. But as we went along, we realized that, oh, we can do this, we can do that. And my sister who did, babysitter? No. Baby sister.
Dula.
Birth sister, yeah. Birth sister, I remember my wife when I had a second baby talked about it. She said, because by then I was supposed to go and be with her. But then she was, no, they gave me the birth sister. I was like, who is that? You know, somebody is gonna be here with me and help me here and there. I think that's what. So when you talk about that, I recall what happened to her. The other thing is, in life you must be self-reliant. In this life, being owning something of your own is the best thing you can ever do. Because if you have something you're doing on the side and it is yours, you make your own schedule, like I told you, people call us and say, oh, we're not available, we can work with you. Then, you know what makes people fear to start things on their own is either to swim or drown on themselves. They think, if I leave my job, will I be able to pay the bills? But my friend, this God behind you, who gave you the knowledge, the wisdom to start that entity, will provide for you in that circumstance. And then you'll be able to grow your own business. Because there's nothing good like having freedom when you have to work and when you don't have to work. So, please, I know so many people, right now there are people who think of starting a business. I like Brian, what he started. Nobody thought about that. But I'm sure also Brian did not start something that was new. He started something that was existing, but he made it better by putting technology. That you don't have to, now before people used to go to offices and do it, but it's telling you, scan the code, get connected to every service you want. That's innovation, and that's what we have to do, and more so in this century. The other thing was opportunism. Like every negative situation in our business first presents a positive possibility. Because, like right now, 2025, last year in our business, it has been the worst year of our life. You know, starting a business and your curve is moving up, then 2025 goes all the way down. This is what happened. Before, like I told you, we used to go to nursing homes, get contracts, people give us business, and start working right away. So with these changes of leadership, the politics crisis in this country, now the medical, federal funding to nursing homes, everything was cut. So then the nursing homes administration called us and said, you know what? We don't have money to pay you. What do we do? And we had a chain of those places. You go, I was talking to Brian right now, that you go to Brian one who's the corporate, Brian one gives the business, and then Brian one will say, I have other chain businesses. Because it's a directive, the others will work with you. So this time when Brian makes a decision and says, we don't have money to pay you. Also the other one, so you run out of business. But how do you keep up with, how do you, you must keep moving. Like in life, that is one of the points I want to tell you. You must keep moving, changing your reality, cultivating your situations. Like if staffing is not working, are you going to close your business? So then we're like, okay, let's now revamp the transportation. Now we are doing much of the transportation, and the staffing is down. So, but now we are thriving. 2005 is done. We're good. 2006, I think it's going to be better. And every innovation you add on, it also gives another mileage. Think otherwise, the technology you're going to take, because we started when we were doing manifest on paper and what, now we improved, we have app and our transportation. Now, the only challenge we have with transportation is the fuel prices. But that is short term. I don't think it's going to be long term. But then people realize that there will be a problem with fuel, and they introduce electric cars. Do you know what Amazon is using? It's using electric cars. Recently I saw post office, they bought electric cars now. So we are also thinking of getting some electric cars on the fleet, because that's what we have to do to save and save money. And when you get an electric car, you're going to cut off the mechanic, the repairs, and what. So, then, one thing is, when you're doing your business, you must be aggressive. You must know when to be bad if the situations get tough. You know, we contracted with some nursing homes. One, it was in law. I won't mention the name. We worked for them, and they refused to pay us $300,000. But their corporate office was in Connecticut. The first time I went there, when I said I'm so hands-on, I'm here to collect my money, they refused to open for me the door. I'm like, oh God, what can I do? I had to drive the second time. The second time, this time I didn't knock. I waited on the side in my car. I saw somebody opening the door. I gave him. Then I said, I'm here to meet the owner, the finance, the CEO. I need my money. Then I told them I was here last time. You guys want to talk because they have those microphones on the door. They refused. Here, the intercom. They, you have to go to Massachusetts. I said, I've been to Massachusetts so many times. They told me it's corporate. Now I'm in corporate. You're telling me to go back. So I was there. Then I didn't cause chaos. I'm not leaving the place until I'm paid. Because I went with my files, my paper. I said, I gave you nurses. These people have to pay them. They have families. They have everything. So then later they called the police for me. But I was, I was like, oh, that's good. You call the police and this is on record. Because if anything happens, it will go, I'll go in court and say the police will bring that I was there to get my payment and you guys refused. So then the police came, we sat, and that's when I got a chance to sit with this company CEO. You know these big companies. Have you ever sat with the CEO? Like company CEO and the company finance officer. That's when I got the time. We sat on the round table. They said, we're going to pay you. But we're going to pay you these installments. And then they started paying me.
Otherwise, you can't.
Yeah, sir, but this is what I'm saying. When you're running a business, you must know when to be bad. Because not everything, because you're looking for clients, because you have to be polite, you have to be nice. No, there's no time for that. And lastly, because of time and I see the moderators telling me to push, I will talk about the connection. When you're starting a business, you should not start something you think like that's what you want. You have to start something like on the audience. Like when you come here, listen to what people are talking. Listen to what people are saying. Me, I have a security company here. But you know why I started a security company? I used to go to events and people were struggling with people coming in, entering, this didn't pay, and then you want to push that person down. I'm like, I think I should start something to help these people out. Now people call me for events to provide them with security. But no, you haven't. I don't know. Yeah, so they call me. So, when I started the school, the school that trains CNA, we do CNA, HHA training, we do MAP certification, we do BLS and CPR. We also do the first aid classes. When I started that, I was running the business for about 2 years. Then we realized that we don't have workers to send to the nursing homes. But the reason why we didn't have the workers, because they didn't have the papers to go and work there. Then I'm like, why don't I start something? Then we started the school. Now we are okay with the staffing. So that's what I mean that know your environment. Know what the audience wants. That's what you should start. Lastly, is pushing beyond your limits. This is the last one. You should push beyond your limits. Like, don't start a business and say, oh, I still like Brian started that business. I'm sure I think of better things to do. Like, we started from cleaning, now we are healthcare, and now we are pushing beyond. Interest of yourself of meeting people who are better than you. Yeah. Somebody said, if you don't know anybody, just wake up one morning, spending 500, go in any conference center, go in a big, very expensive place, sit there, buy a drink, watch people, what are they doing? Eh? Like, try to invest yourself, like invest some money in yourself, you know? The moment you do that, before you do that, because me, when I started my business back home, one of my mentors was Chairman Yakan. I don't know if some guys know. Was Chairman Yakan. Because he told me, when you want to make business, you should, first of all, is your appearance. Your appearance matters. You must have the business card all the time with you. And your stranger is that stranger has your money. Whenever you have those businesses and you have gone in that place, please, you see somebody, here they say something, say something. But in business, we see somebody, share something. Don't share what? Share your business card. If I meet with Brian here, I give him my business card. Never know, he might not need my service. But when he's talking to somebody else and say, I'm looking for transportation, my man needs a wheelchair, transportation. I'm like, oh.
I know somebody.
You see, they already know somebody. So what I mean that push beyond your limits is move away from where you are, your comfort zone. Go to another place, learn how other people are doing. And that's why I keep coming to these meetings, because I know you make connections, you get to know people, more people. And then the last one is innovation. As I said, we started transportation doing manuscript. Now we are building an app where, because this has not been there, and it's not there because I know people in this business. In next year when I come here, I'll be telling you like, Brian, scan my code. So people who are doing non-emergency medical transportation, they don't have these apps. I'm coming up with one, and this is for wheelchair. And I'm doing it manually, but I'm getting calls. People want, because I'm specializing in wheelchair transportation, wheelchair vans, and people are calling me. But how do I move beyond my limits? I want to make more money by building an app so that I can serve so many people. When you have an app, like just like book a trip yourself, then I'm paid. You know what they mean being prepaid? You are home sleep and then the money runs on your account.
Yes.
That's what I mean. Push beyond the limits. One of the nurses visited me in my office, and we are sharing. Then I told him, you know what? My dream is to make $1 million a day. Then she was like, what?
Yes.
How can you make that money? I'm like, okay, how does Uber make the money? Eh? How? Then I told him, how does Facebook make the money? So, when you are here, you can only make money by using the technology. Yes. Embrace the technology. And I'm assuring you, before I die, I must make $1 million a day. Yes. Thank you very much.